gardeners do, and gathered the various plants that sprung up beneath my feet. Plants are tricky. Many are edible, but one false mouthful and you're dead. I checked and double-checked the plants I harvested with my father's pictures. I kept us alive. Any sign of danger, a distant howl, the inexplicable break of a branch sent me flying back to the fence at first. Then I began to risk climbing trees to escape the wild dogs that quickly got bored and moved on. Bears and cats lived deeper in, perhaps disliking the sooty reek of our district. On May 8th, I went to the Justice Building, signed up for my Tessera, and pulled home my first batch of grain and oil in Bram's toy wagon. On the 8th of every month, I was entitled to do the same. I couldn't help. I couldn't stop hunting and gathering, of course. The grain was not enough to live on, and there were other things to buy: soap, milk, and thread. What we didn't actually absolutely have to eat, I began to train at the Hob. It was frightening to enter that place without my father at my side, but people I respected him, and they accepted me. Game was game after all, no matter who shot it. Excuse me. I also sold at the back door of the wealthier clients in town, trying to remember what my father had told me, and learning a few new tricks as well. The butcher would buy my rabbits, but not squirrels. The baker enjoyed squirrel, but would only trade for one if his wife wasn't around. The head peacekeeper loved wild turkey. The mayor had a passion for strawberries. In late summer, I was washing up in a pond when I noticed the plants growing around me, tall, with leaves like arrowheads, blossoms with 3 white petals, come. I'm too tired or too numb to cry. The only thing I feel is a desire to be somewhere else. So I let the train rock me into oblivion. Gray light is leaking through the curtains. When the wrapping rouses me up, I hear Elfie Trinket's voice calling me to rise. Up, up, up. It's going to be a big, big to reach for the spirits. I drive my knife into the table, between his hand and the bottle, barely missing his fingers. I brace myself to reflect his hit, then it doesn't come. Instead, he sits back and squints at us. Well, what's this? Says Image. Did I actually get a pair of fighters this year? Peter rises from the floor and scoops up a handful of ice from under the fruit terrine. He starts to raise it to the red mark on his jaw. No, says Image, stopping him. Let the bruise show. The audience will think you've mixed it up with another tribute before you've even made it to the arena. That's against the rules, says Peter. Only if they catch you. That bruise will say you fought. You weren't caught. Even better, says Image. He turns to me. Can you hit anything with that knife besides a table? The bow and arrow is my weapon, but I've spent a fair amount of time throwing knives as well. Sometimes, if I've wounded an animal with an arrow, it's better to get a knife into it, too, before I approach it. I realize that if I want Image's attention, this is my moment to make an impression. I yank the knife out of the table, get a grip on the blade, and then throw it into the wall across the room. I was actually just hoping to get a solid good stick, but it lodges in the seam between two panels, making me look a lot better than I am. Stand over here, both of you, says Image, nodding to the middle of the obey, and he circles us, prodding us like animals at times, checking our muscles, examining our faces. Well, you're not entirely hopeless. Seem fit, and since the stylist get a hold of you, you'll be attractive enough. Peter and I don't question this. The Hunger Games aren't a beauty contest, but the best-looking tributes always seem to pull more sponsors. Alright, I'll make a deal with you. You don't interfere with my drinking, and I'll stay sober enough to help you, says Image, but you have to do exactly what I say. It's not much of a deal, but still a giant step forward from 10 minutes ago when we had no guide at all. Fine, says Peter. So help us, I say. When we get to the arena, what's the best strategy at the cornucopia for someone? One thing at a time. Any few minutes, we'll be pulling into the station. You'll be put in the hands of your stylists. You're not going to like what they do to you, but no matter what it is,